We are now in the final week of the liturgical year, what's called the 34th week of Ordinary Time. The last week, starting on Sunday, we begin a whole new liturgical year with the first Sunday of Advent. And this past Sunday, we celebrated the last solemnity of the liturgical year, the solemnity of Christ, the King of the universe. And we are called to reflect as we come to the end of the year that when it's all said and done, Jesus Christ is the Lord. He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He is the King of the whole world, and not only of the whole world, but all of creation, the King of the universe. And this kingship of Christ is a foundational truth of our faith that we need to personally, each one of us, acknowledge that Christ is in fact the Lord, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. But then, not only in general is he the King, but he wants to be, he needs to be the King of my heart. He needs to be the King of every one of our lives. And yet, in order for that to happen, we must personally accept him and welcome him into our lives and acknowledge him as the King of our hearts. Which means what? It means we must come down from the throne of our own hearts. One of the conditions of our fallen nature is that we tend to take control of our lives. We tend to want to rule over our life. We want, in that sense, to be God of our life. And yet this is what gets us into all kinds of trouble. And so what we need to do is to say, okay, Lord, I'm no longer going to try to be the Lord of my life, the King of my life. I want you to take over, Lord Jesus. I want you to be sovereign over every area of my life. I surrender, Lord, my will, my heart, my life, my plans, my desires, my everything I have. I surrender to you. I yield to you, Lord. Take over. This is the prayer we need to be praying, especially as we come to the end of this year, to say, Lord, I give it all to you. Be the Lord of my life. And that prayer we need to renew every day, every single day. If we do that, we will experience a great peace and an abundance of life, because it is not in trying to reign over our lives, to rule our lives, that we find peace and happiness, but in living our lives under the authority and lordship of Jesus Christ. Welcome him into your heart today. Say, Jesus, take up your throne in my heart. I want to live under your lordship, under your kingship from this day forward.